Airplanes are engineering masterpieces, over 300,000 parts working perfectly to lift tons of metal into the sky. Many of us grew fascinated and captivated by airplanes. It's the blend of raw power, cutting-edge technology, feel of adventure, and human ingenuity that makes planes one of the most fascinating creations. Today, I am covering the current passenger plane families from both Boeing and Airbus, the world's top aircraft makers. I'll break down their models, production numbers, seating capacity, engines, range of each of their model families, and also some cool facts about them, all in a simple way. Boeing, based in the United States, have 5 main passenger aircraft families that are operational, which are 737 MAX, 747, 767, 777, including the new 777X, and the 787 Dreamliner. Airbus, the European aircraft manufacturer headquartered in France, offers 5 families as well: A220, A320, A330, A350 and A380. All these families are active, though some like the Boeing 767, 747 and Airbus A380, their production has been stopped, but they will be keep flying for many years to come. Let's get started with Boeing planes and then Airbus. Firstly, Boeing 737 family. The 737 MAX comes in variants like MAX 7, 8, 8, 200, 9 and 10. These planes seat anywhere from 138 to 204 passengers. Their range varies between 3,100 to 3,850 nautical miles. That's roughly 5,700 to 7,100 kilometers. They use engines from CFM International. So far, about 1,744 of these have been produced as of mid-2025, and production has been going strong since 2016. What's impressive is they offer around 20% better fuel efficiency compared to the earlier 737 models. They are still actively flying and in production today. Next, the iconic Boeing 747 family. This is the queen of the skies. The passenger variants include 747-400 and 747-8. Seating capacity ranges from about 371 on the 747-400 and 364 on the 747-8 and up to 605 in a high-density setup. The 747-400 can fly about 7,285 nautical miles, which is roughly 13,400 kilometers, while the 747-8 stretches that range to 8,000 nautical miles. That's about 14,800 kilometers. They use engines from General Electric or Pratt & Whitney on the 747-400 and from General Electric on the 747-8. Boeing produced around 1,574 of these from 1967 until production entered in 2023. This plane revolutionized the air travel back in 1970 with its signature upper deck hump. Though the production has stopped, you can still find the 747 flying with Lufthansa, Korean Air, Air China, Rosia Airlines and so on. But only about 39 passenger 747s remain active now, mostly the 747-8, as their use gradually declines. Now let's move on to the Boeing 767 family. Key passenger variants here are the 767-300ER and 400ER. They seat roughly 280 to 375 passengers in a 2-class setup. Their range is up to 6,385 nautical miles. That's about 11,812 kilometers. They use engines from General Electric, Pratt & Whitney or Rolls-Royce. Around 1,303 have been built from 1981 to 2014. The 767 is still flying with Delta and United, but it's being phased out between 2030 and 2035. It's also very common as a freighter now. Now the Boeing 777 family, including the 777X. Variants include the 777-200, 200ER, 200LR, 300, 300ER and the newest 777X models. The 777-300ER seats about 392 passengers in two classes. It can fly up to 7,370 nautical miles or around 13,635 kilometers. The new 777X-8 extends that range to 8,745 nautical miles, about 16,179 kilometers. They use engines from General Electric. Boeing has produced around 1,717 of these planes since 1994. Regular 777 production has stopped in 2020 and the 777X deliveries began in 2025. A cool feature of the 777X is its folding wing tips, which improves efficiency and allow it to fit better at airports. The 777 family is actively flying and the 777X is rolling out now. Then there is the Boeing 787 Dreamliner family. It has three variants: 7878, 7879 and 7810. Seating ranges from about 248 passengers on the 7878, 296 on the 7879 and 336 on the 78710. Their range spans 6,430 to 7,635 nautical miles, or roughly 11,896 to 14,125 kilometers. They use engines from Rolls-Royce or General Electric. Boeing has built around 1,144 Dreamliners since production started in 2009. This family is actually the fastest selling wide-body ever and has carried over 1 billion passengers by 2025 as per reports. The 787 is still active and being produced today. Now let's talk about Airbus. Here is what you need to know about their passenger aircraft families. Starting with the Airbus A220 family. There are two variants, the A220-100 and A220-300. They seat between 100 and 160 passengers. Their range is 3,400 to 3,600 nautical miles. That's about 6,290 to 6,660 kilometers. They use engines from Pratt and Whitney. Around 330 of these have been produced since 2013 and they are still in production. The A220 burns about 25% less fuel than older planes in its class. Next, the Airbus A320 family. This family includes A318, A319, A320 and A321 with seating from 107 on the smallest to over 230 on the largest A321. The A321 XLR. This variant can fly up to 4,700 nautical miles, which is roughly 8,695 kilometers. They use engines from Pratt & Whitney or CFM International. This family is huge with about 11,400 planes produced since 1984 and production is still going strong. It's the world's most sold commercial jet family, dominating short and medium haul routes worldwide. The Airbus A330neo family comes next. There are two variants, the A330-800 and A330-900. Seating ranges from 220 to 260 passengers on the 800 and 260 to 300 on the 900. They have a range between 7,200 and 8,150 nautical miles. That's around 13,320 to 15,078 kilometers. They use engines from Rolls-Royce. Around 130 of A330neos have been produced. The total A330 family reaches about 1,570 planes, but original A330 production stopped in 2019. The Neo is basically a modernized A330 with new engines for better efficiency. It's still active and in production. Now, the Airbus A350 family. Variants include A350-900 and A350-1000. They seat between 332 to 352 passengers on the 900 and 375 to 400 on the 1000. Their range is between 8,500 and 9,000 nautical miles. That's roughly 15,725 to 16,650 kilometers. That's huge. They use engines from Rolls-Royce. Around 620 of these have been built since 2013 and they are still being produced. This plane is highly efficient, designed for long-range flights with advanced aerodynamics. Last, but the most captivating for many plane enthusiasts, the Airbus A380-800. This is the world's largest passenger aircraft. It seats about 525 passengers in a typical 3-class layout and up to 853 in an all-economy setup. Its range is roughly 8,000 nautical miles or about 14,800 kilometers. It uses engines from Rolls-Royce or Engine Alliance. Engine Alliance is another jet engine manufacturer in the USA. They are a joint venture between GE and Pratt & Whitney. Airbus produced 251 A380s from 2005 to 2021, and in 2021 the production had stopped. Emirates had 116 A380s as per reports, although not all of them are in operation. Then British Airways, Qatar Airways and Singapore Airlines, flying around 30 more combined. That's the rundown, from single-aisle workhorses to giants crossing continents. Hope this video was informative. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment which plane impresses you most. See you in the next one.